Am I on? No, I am. Thanks. Good morning. Yeah, I'm Dick Henderson. I'm on lay board here at New Grace. And with Brian off on a well-deserved break, he asked me to fill in for him today. He'll be back next week. My faith is shaken. I doubt my faith. Have you ever heard someone say this? A friend, a family member? Maybe you've even said it. Maybe you've thought it. When a catastrophe happens in your life. Loss of a job, loss of a home, loss of a loved one, particularly a child. It's as if a wall has been placed in front of you that's infinitely wide, infinitely tall, and you can't get around it, you can't get over it, you can't get under it, and you can't get through it, no matter what you try. You reach a point of total frustration, and you look towards the heavens, and you shake your fist, and you say, God, why? Why did you do this to me? I'm a good Christian. I believe. But my faith is shaken. I doubt my faith. So faith. What is it? Where does it come from? Well, this is the topic that I wanted to address today. I also have a story to tell about a demonstration of true Christian faith and the results of that action. Now, the rule of the church, Brian's rule, is, as he says, if you're standing behind the holy plastic stand, you must have 3 points. Well, Brian's not here, and I don't have 3 points. But I do want to address 3 different types of faith. But like I said, I have a story to tell. So I'll get into that right now. The story takes place back in 1967, and looking at the crowd here, that's pretty much ancient history for most of you. 1967, it's an area at that time was called the Central Highlands, and a country at that time was called the Republic of South Vietnam. The Vietnam War was not heating up at that time. It was hot. In this particular area, the United States Army decided that they needed a small forward base of operations to collect intelligence on enemy activity and to protect the friendly villages in the area. So they sent in engineers for construction, and they sent in infantry for protection. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a fluffy story. Patrols would go out at night, checking on enemy activity, checking on the villages. Nothing happened. Things were good. Pretty peaceful out there. That changed one night. Patrol ran into a sizable force of North Vietnamese, and a very vicious and a very brutal firefight took place. 2 of the enemy were captured, and they were brought back. They were interrogated. And what they found out is the enemy did have an interest in what was going on. They had assembled somewhere between 1,200 to 1,500 well-armed, well-trained troops in the immediate area. And their mission? To kill everything on this hilltop. A few nights later, the attack began with mortars, artillery, small unit probes by the enemy. They were trying to see where the weaker parts of the defenses were on this hill. The Army had a problem coming up. The weather was closing in. The only way in or out was by chopper. There was no roads. It was too small of an area for an airstrip. And if you can't resupply, everybody dies. So they decided to evacuate everybody, get them out of there, remove as much equipment as possible, and destroy in place what you can't take. So that evacuation started, but to help, they sent in another unit. At that time, it was called a Rapid Deployment Unit. Guys that did special things and special missions. Now, the story has to do with one squad in this unit. The squad can be made up of 10, 15, 18, 20 guys, depending. It varies. And the squad was broken up into two very small units. They were called fire teams, A and B, Alpha, Bravo. This is about Bravo fire team. 5 men, 18, 19, 20 years old. Their squad leader told them to go down the hill. There's 2 bunkers down there. Relieve the personnel. Do what you need to do to keep the bad guys from coming up the hill. I'll come down and get you when it's time to go. Now, all this time, this battle's going on. Got incoming explosions. I mean, it's total chaos. Choppers coming and going. As the day wore on, they were able to fend off the enemy's advances. These 5 guys, until they realized the attack has stopped. There's no sound from up above. This is not good. So the fire team leader sent one guy to the top of the hill to find out what was going on. When he returned, he brought the worst news possible. We've been left behind. There's nobody up there. It's just us. 5 guys. So they scrambled to the top of the hill. They found a sandbag emplacement. They jumped in there trying to decide on what they could do. They didn't have a lot of options. 5 guys against 1,500. Don't go to Vegas with those odds. It's not good. One of the guys said that he seemed to remember where the command area was, so he hustled over there. Lo and behold, he found a radio. And for some reason, that radio worked. They were able to call Command Central, and what they were told is the weather has closed in. I mean, you could not see, as they said, 20 feet in front of you. Hang tight. We'll come and get you. Yeah, right. There's only 2 possibilities. They were either going to be killed immediately or they're going to be tortured. I told you it's not a fluffy story. But it'll all tie together. Hang with me. Short time later, they heard a voice. Hey! Is anybody out there? Well, you can tell English from Vietnamese. So they hollered. And they said, yeah, we're over here. So they could see a figure off in the gloom over there, running towards them. Well, there was 5 M16s on full automatic pointed at this thing running towards them. And they could tell, okay, he's a friendly. He dove into where they were, and here it is, an officer, a captain, a chaplain. They filled him in on what was going on. He said, boys, he said, we got one thing and one thing only to do. We need to bow our heads and pray.